Sunday night football, we had the Chicago Bears travel to the LA Rams. Bears, some reason, had Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. As we said in the preview, it's going to be about 2 quarters in. The Bears are going to be sick of Andy Dalton. They're going to put in Justin Fields. But instead of just putting him in fully, they just sprinkled him in. He added a bit of class, and they decided to keep playing Andy Dalton. And obviously, they lost.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of introducing this one, Jamie. I thought it was a very strange game to put on Sunday night football of week 1. The Chicago Bears and LA Rams, for me, was never going to be a contest. And the scoreline, I think, was a fair reflection, 34-14 to the Rams in the end. We all predicted it, let's say, to be the one-sided game. Matt Stafford, we said he just give him that better offense whilst he's in the latter stage of his career, and he will excel. And to be honest, as good as Matt Stafford is, I didn't expect him to be clicking with Cooper Kupp so well early on. It's like they've been like playing in the same team for years. Cooper Kupp, on occasion, made Jared Goff even look good. So we know he's a sensational wide receiver, but Nick just needs to give him the ball more. And of course, he is the number 1 wide receiver at the Rams, with Robert Woods number 2. So they've got the threat certainly there. It's just a case of utilising it. And I believe they will under Matt Stafford. And the Bears were the perfect opponent, weren't they, really? I mean, and Andy Dalton. I mean, we've seen what he's like for the Bengals. We've seen what he's like for the Cowboys. And it was the same sorry showing for the Bears. Again, as I say, his only interception was admittedly by David Long of the Rams, but overall, the Rams defense is just too good. With Jalen Ramsey was just absolutely terrorizing that Bears O-line, just constantly putting them under pressure, along with Aaron Donald. The only bright spot for the Chicago Bears is someone I've got in my fantasy team as well, with David Montgomery as a running back who plays on confidence. And I thought it was a very shrewd call by myself to draft him in the fantasy one that we're in, Jamie. I knew he was their main threat. And with the fact with Justin Fields off the field, pardon the pun, it's going to be a case of like Montgomery would get the ball more. And he had a brilliant game of 100 rushing yards and a score. So from a fantasy point of view, I had a brilliant game. Got Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, David Montgomery, and they're the 3 top scorers. So I'll pat myself on the back for that one. But yeah, sticking to just purely the game, it's a ridiculous game to put on, like peak time. And as usual, agree, it's embarrassing from a Bears fans' point of view, because they're just not even close. And they're going to have, the NFC North, I think it's got to be up there along with the NFC East. It's probably the weakest division in the NFL this season.
Just a quick one on why it was a Sunday night. Do you think something to do with having fans in for the first time, full SoFi, may have had something to do with it?
Yeah, having the best team at the SoFi Stadium as well. They had to put that on prime time, just so. No offense to the little dig of the Chargers always, but it's Matthew Stafford also just showed, with a team actually capable around him, the Rams, as we said, are probably going to be NFC Championship bound. The Bears, though, they're 4-15 in week 1. So they're not doing very well. Andy Dalton's now 6-18 in primetime games. He is the second lowest quarterback in primetime since 2000. Don't know who number 1 is, doesn't say on here. Very nice of him. Matthew Stafford also had the highest passer rating in the NFL history for a player in their debut with a new team, which is 156.1. You can't really get much better than that. And it was just brutal. The LA Rams, they will be disappointed. David Montgomery is the first person to get 100 yards rushing against them since week 15 of 2019. So a fantastic draft in the NFL there for you, Adam. So I'll give you that one. But yeah, a great win. Great win for the Rams, easy. And Chicago Bears are terrible.
Yeah,
so
another long season. And I believe as a coach, just to wrap up, I think Matt Nagy's starting to get found out.
His first season, I think he went, if I find it, I did have it up. So in his first season, 2018, he went 12-4. Then they obviously lost because of that double doink. Since then, they are 16-17 since 2019, start of the season. So that is, it's his last season contracted as well to the Bears. So the fact that he went with Dalton, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields isn't starting either next week or in week 3 of the NFL season. But yeah, terrible.